Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnava Vangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanitang Tang Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitan Sham Bhajasi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Bhajasi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Bhajate Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta
Okay. Why is it not that? That's the verse. Why did I like that one? Oh, come on. What's happened to it? Come back. Oh, come on. Where's it? Finally see it. Okay. That's all. Okay. Ah, come on. Where's CCB also, you know? Chapter 3, verse 9. Oh, okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for coming today. I think while Prabhuji is just trying to find the verse, we'll be doing from Bhagavad Gita. It's chapter 3, verse number 9. So before we start that, we'll just do some invocation prayers. Very short ones. Okay. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gokul Nand Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Gokul Nand Shri Radhe Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman 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 Jaya Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, let's look at it. Oh, okay, it's done there. Okay, settings. Okay. I cancel that. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for coming today on Saturday evening for the Bhagavad Gita class. So today we're going to be reading from chapter 3, text verse number 9. We're trying to bring it up on screen, but it's not working for some reason. So we'll recite the verse first. Before we start, we'll just say a couple of prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we'll do verse, text number 9.
Isn't that Krishna?
Yeah, that's Krishna. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yagna artha karmano yantra lokayam karma bandhanam tad artham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samarchara. Can't bring that. So, yagna artha karmana anyatra loka ayam karma bandha tat artham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samarcha. So, yagna artha, done only for the sake of yagna or Vishnu. Karmana, that work. Anyatra, otherwise. Loka, the world. Ayam, this. Karma bandhana, bondage by work. Tat, of him. Artham, for the sake. Karma, work. Kaunteya, O son of Kunti. Mukta sangha, liberated from association. Do perfectly. Yagna artha karmano antra lokayam karma bandhana tad artham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samarchara. Okay. Translation by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada goes like this. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. And in that way, you will always remain free from bondage. Purport. Since one has to work even for the simplest maintenance of the body, the prescribed duties for a particular social position and qualities are so made that the purpose can be fulfilled. Yagna means Lord Vishnu, or sacrificial performances. All sacrificial performances are also meant for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. The Vedas enjoin Yagna Ve Vishnu. In other words, the same purpose is served whether one performs prescribed yagnas or directly serves Lord Vishnu. Krishna consciousness is therefore performance of yagna as it is prescribed in this verse. The Varnashram institution also aims at satisfying Lord Vishnu. Therefore, one has to work for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. Any other work done in this material world will be cause of bondage. For both good and evil work have their reactions, and any reaction binds the performer. Therefore, one has to work in Krishna conscious to satisfy Krishna or Vishnu. And while performing such activities, one is in a liberated stage. This is the great art of doing work, and in the beginning, this process requires a very expert guidance. One should therefore act very diligently under the expert guidance of a devotee of Lord Krishna, or under the direct instructions of Lord Krishna himself, under whom Arjuna had the opportunity to work. Nothing should be performed for sense gratification, but everything should be done for the satisfaction of Krishna. This service will not only save one from the reaction of work, but also gradually elevate one to the transcendental loving service of the Lord, which alone can raise one to the kingdom of God. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Padaya Bhutale Shrivate Bhakti Juru Swami Namin Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharni Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschate Shtani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Dvaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Dvaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this verse is quite interesting. So we're on karma yoga. So Krishna is saying that you have to do work. Now when you look at the word karma yoga, karma means action or some kind of work, some kind of activity. So whatever activity we do, yoga means to think, to link with God. So here in this chapter, karma yoga, it means linking your actions, your work and your activities to God. So from the very moment of birth, up from an infant to old age, we can't escape from karma. Everybody has to do karma. But how we do things and how we function in our day-to-day lives, they can either increase our karma or decrease our karmic reactions. So we have a choice. Okay. So in the previous verses, between verse 3 to verse 9, Krishna explained how to work in his knowledge, how to have detachment, allowing the soul to be active in a detached way. So you do things and, stay away from it all. Say, I don't want to get involved in this. And that is to protect ourselves from any kind of material attachment, And that leads us onto the path of Krishna. But can we really be detached from anything? As soon as a new phone comes out, everybody's attracted to getting the new latest phone. So we always have that attachment. We have the attachment of the family. So our attachment is very strong. Why? Because we see so much things around us and they attract us automatically. So that what causes us attachment. Attachment from the family, attachment with material things. There's so many things that we're attracted to. But now Krishna is trying to tell us a different approach. He's saying there's a concept of bondage and liberation that I want to talk to you about, which is so different. You do your work, and at the same time, there's a specific reason why you do this work. It's all about the work that we do. That's what Krishna is talking about. And what kind of work do? We do every kind of work. We all go to jobs, we all have jobs, we all work at home. We all do so many things, we all go to offices. There's so many things that we do. So, the first thing that Krishna talks about, in the very first line, work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu. Now, when we think of sacrifice, Krishna is recommending that we do some kind of sacrifice. And even as today's Ekadashi, I'm sure many people are fasting. That's a kind of sacrifice in itself, just to get through Ekadashi sometimes. Sometimes people find that's hard. That's a sacrifice in itself. So let's see the idea of sacrifice. What actually is sacrifice? Anybody want to throw any ideas? Anyone? There's no right or wrong, but anything. Sacrifice. Any guesses?
Giving away something you love a lot.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Giving something that you love for a higher purpose, for a higher pleasure. So I'm sure there's a lot of cricket fans in here. Yeah, we all watch cricket. Yeah, they all watch cricket. What happens is you have the top batsman, right? And when it's coming to the end, the top batsman is still there. And as it's going through, you'll have another batsman in the lower order. Okay? Now they want to win the match. So what does he do? The lower batsman will come to a point where he says, look, he's much better than me. He's much greater than me. So what I think I should do is, I'll sacrifice myself, because I'm not good at getting any runs. I won't get any runs. I can probably just about hit a ball. But you know what? He's the greatest batsman. So why don't I sacrifice myself for him, that he can win the match? So that is a kind of sacrifice. Yeah, we all see that. A lot of people do that in the matches, And sometimes, all right, let alone cricket match, sometimes even at work, when we're working amongst our friends or family, sometimes we make sacrifices. Just if somebody says, look, no, I need you to do this for me. And sometimes you go out of your way to do things for them. If you have a plan in the evening, you put your own plan on hold and do that for someone else. And that's a sacrifice in itself as well. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay? So we're making sacrifices. So in the first word, Krishna said yagna. Now yagna, when we come to the first word yagna, what do we normally think as a yagna? Yeah, so we think of the Havan Kund. Yeah, mostly a lot of us people have gone to that. So we see the Havan Kund where they have the fire. That's the sacrifice, you know. And we always offer everything into the fire. So what the Havan Kund represents actually is, because Krishna says in this verse, he goes, work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. So because we can't actually sacrifice anything to Lord Vishnu directly, okay? So we have the fire, the Havan Kund. So the Havan Kund itself represents Shri Shri Radha Gokul Bhagwan Ji ki, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. But because we can't offer anything to Lord Vishnu directly, the Agni becomes a via medium to accept everything on his behalf. Okay? So we have a principle that's playing here at the moment. So when you see the Havan Kund itself is the mouth of Lord Vishnu, and the fire represents all the elements of the cosmos. So we're putting everything that the Lord is offering to us as an offering to him. We say, look, you know, what do we put wood in there, we put ghee in there, we put camphor in there, we put so many things that constitute to making that fire, and everything is as an offering to the Lord. Because obviously at the end of the day, the Lord provides us with all the necessities of life that we need. And so the Lord provides us with all the necessities of life that we need. And also we're working constantly hard, day and night, to maintain ourselves. And it's nature that provides everything that we do. And ultimately, where does that nature come from? Who provides that nature? Lord Vishnu provides everything. Okay? Lord Vishnu is in charge of everything, for providing everything. So in this way, it's a very scientific, it's not a ritualistic thing. Well, like in the olden days, you know, you could say people used to do havans, which was like a very ritualistic thing to do. Like if they wanted rains, it hadn't rained for a while, they used to do havans, the yagnas in the old days, and the rains would fall. And they used to do so many of these things. And we still recognize, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing to do. But you have to realize there's always a scientific reason behind everything that we do. But why do we do these yagnas? Why do we do all this? It's just to, you know, for our gratitude. We want to show the Lord, like, thank you for everything that you do for us, everything you provide for us. It's like a child with the father. You know, the father provides everything, but as soon as the child gives something back in reciprocation, the father will feel pleased. So in a similar way, when we have the Lord, we offer something to him, he feels pleased. And to emphasize this point, why we have to do the offering is we are trying to purify ourselves. We're trying to become a better person. And sometimes we think, how does that work? How are we trying to purify ourselves? Because, like I said earlier on, for everything that we do, we get a karmic reaction. And to save ourselves from this karmic reaction, we do this small sort of pious activities. So in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse 9, Krishna said, Bhoktaram yagna tapassam sarva loka maheshvara sudhiram sarva bhutanam janmatmam shantim richitahi. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Now, we're all suffering in material miseries. You know, somebody might say, I'm not. Somebody else will say, I will. It's like, we're always, something or another is always, either you're mentally disturbed, something on your mind, you have a toothache, you have so many things that can disturb us. Sometimes it's not to do with ourselves, other people trouble us. And if other people are not troubling us, you have your mental speculation inside your mind, if it's not that, it's some natural calamities. There's so many things that's always troubling us. So we have all these material miseries and everything. But Krishna is now saying is to Arjuna that you should do this sacrifice to Lord Vishnu. Now Krishna is thinking of Lord Vishnu as a third person, which Lord Vishnu isn't. Lord Vishnu is obviously Krishna himself. So he's saying, do any sacrifice that you do, it should be for Lord Vishnu. Because otherwise, any kind of work that we do, we should do it for God, for Krishna. Otherwise, you get into this bondage. You get so attracted. You get so entrenched with everything that you do. And it covers you. Your mind constantly thinks of that. And then what happens when we get so entrapped with everything? We're entrapped in the cycle of birth and death. We don't know how many births we've previously had, how many we will have more. But then Krishna says, do this devotional service to me. Offer me things. And whatever you do, do it for me. Because Krishna says in chapter 2, verse 50 and 51, a man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reactions, even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. Thus, by engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. In that way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain a state beyond all miseries and go back home to Godhead. So you can see for the fact that he's emphasizing the point that we need to do devotional service, offer something to the Lord, and the work we do, any offerings that we should offer it to the Lord himself. Now, why do we stress this point? This karma yoga, this yoga that we're doing, why is it important to us? It's important to us because, like I said, we've been through so many, life after life after life, going through so many, right? We've been evolving. And then you come to a stage where we've got this life. So now we want to evolve even more. We want to improve ourselves. We want to evolve that eventually we don't have to go through this process of birth and death, but we want to evolve more. But if we don't follow this process of devotional service, we devolve, which means we fall down. Hence all these sacrifices that we do for Lord Vishnu, you come to the temple, you're all here today, that's noted. Krishna would say, okay, these guys, everyone has come to a temple. He makes little notes of it in his diary. He has everything written down. Because when we don't do any kind of service, any kind of devotional service, even any small thing that we do is noted down, what happens? Krishna was saying, I gave this person a chance to do something for me. He's had 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years. And out of that 90 years, has he ever taken out 5 minutes for me? Has he ever spent 10 minutes for me thinking about me? Has he ever done anything for me? So he'll say, look, this guy, I've given him so many chances, but he just doesn't seem to understand for some reason. So what happens? Rather than evolving, we're devolving and we fall down to that cycle, into the trap or the cycle of 840 million species of life. We go round and round and round. And to make ourselves better human beings, we need to come out of this. So we think, what shall I do? What is it that's the best thing for me to do? So sometimes you see people giving charity, philanthropy work, but does that work actually please the Lord? Krishna did say that you do work which is good for me, which I feel is good, and then you can free yourself. But if you do charity or philanthropy work, does that actually please the Lord? But you still get bound by the karma for that, So no matter how much you do, no matter what you give, it's like Bill Gates, he can give thousands and thousands, but what is he doing? At the end of the day, it's for personal sense gratification. What does he get? He gives something, it's for his name, fame. Oh, Mr. Bill Gates has donated XYZ to so-and-so. He's given XYZ to so-and-so. But think, for the service. What have you done for the service of the Lord? Have you done anything for Him? That's what Krishna is saying. You have to act in Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is saying, act in Krishna consciousness, think of Krishna consciousness, and don't worry about the results. Do what your duty, do what you have to do. Because at the end of the day, Krishna is saying to Arjuna, I will take care of everything. You just act. Your duty is a fighter. You're a warrior, so you do your duty. Don't worry about the results. So in a similar way, we all do our duty. Every person does his duty. The good example comes here is like a soldier. A soldier is encrypted into the army. Now he goes into the army. So when he gets into the army, he's trained in all sorts of things. So he's trained in many different things. He's also given a gun or a weapon to use. And he's permitted to use that gun, And in case he has to go to war, and if he has to shoot something, he will shoot. But because it's his duty as a soldier to go and fight, he will fight. But he will not get in trouble, or he will not suffer the reaction, because the government has authorized him to use that gun. So the government permits him to use that gun. So it's authorized. The work that he's doing is because the government has authorized him for him. Now, if that same soldier, once he's left the army, and he decides, I've got a gun, I want to go and attack someone or shoot someone or do something to someone, will he be let off? No, because the government hasn't authorized him to use that gun. He's using it as his own will. So he will face the law and get the reaction for it. So instantly. So this is what Krishna is saying. Don't get bad reactions for the things you're doing. Try and obtain good reactions. Because good reactions acts as blessings for us. And blessings help us along on our spiritual path. So Krishna is saying, do your prescribed duties that everyone is doing. He's not saying give up work, sit down in a corner and just chant my name. No. What Krishna is saying, act in a way that you remember me 24/7. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Verse 13, Krishna is saying, O best among the twice born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's own occupation according to caste, division, and orders of life is to please the personality of Godhead. So this is what we say, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you want to please Krishna. So sometimes when we think prescribed duties, what's my prescribed duties? I'm sure we all work. I still work, so we will have our prescribed duties. So Krishna is saying, do your prescribed duties. If you're a doctor, if you're a nurse, your duty is to help other people, When you see the example, a scalpel, if it's in the hands of a doctor, he uses it to heal people, to make them better. But if it gets in the wrong hand, if he's not a doctor, that scalpel can cause injury. The prescribed duty of a teacher is to help people learn and train them. And then your prescribed duty of a mother is to look after a child. The prescribed duty of a brahmachari is to order the followers of the temple authority or what they want you to do. And at work, we all work and we all have jobs. Our job is to try and satisfy the Lord. Whatever you do, use it in the Lord's service. Like sometimes people think, well, how can I satisfy the Lord with the work I do? So Krishna says, look, whatever you do, whatever you can offer me. He's not saying, look, he says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Any of these things, a leaf, flower, water, anything that you can offer me, or fruits, offer it to me. So whenever you come to a temple, everybody can bring flowers, bring fruits, bring something. Krishna wants to see how you offer it to him. Do you offer it with love? That's what he's looking for, your intention from the heart. Because, you can either give it lovingly or grudgingly, but Krishna wants to see how you offer something from your heart. That's what he's after. So whenever you're working, whatever little bit you can offer, you can bring it to the Lord. And what's the prescribed duty for a husband? I mean, obviously you say listen to your wife, but that's a different thing. But actually the prescribed duty is to protect her. Yeah? And the prescribed duty of children is to listen to parents. So Krishna's message is whatever service you do, your prescribed duties, do your service, do it well, do it to your best ability, but ultimately do it to please Krishna. Like I said, we're all working. You have the pujaris on the altar, they're doing everything however they can do it, to the best of their ability. You have the cooks in the kitchen, they're preparing prasadam, cooking nicely. And then you have, when they make the flower gardens, there's so many duties that are happening. Everyone is trying to do it so nicely. But why? Because we want to please Krishna. The thing is, when you're trying to satisfy yourself, what are you doing it for? You're doing it for your senses. Oh, I like this and I like this. And then ultimately we get caught in this trap of gratification. That causes bondage, and we sort of never break free from this cycle. You're like on the ladder of progression, you're slowly trying to climb up the ladder. But what do you think? Oh, look, I'm going to leave that behind. No, I want to take that with me. So you're carrying all this burden on your shoulders and you're trying to climb a ladder. Can you actually climb the ladder? No, because you've got too much weight. You're carrying too much weight. So there's something that you have to leave behind in order to climb the ladder. Now we're saying we want to climb the ladder for progression, to become a better person, to become a devotee. We want to do something good for Krishna. Sometimes you have to leave certain things behind. It's like when we're traveling, you go to the airport, they say, oh sorry, but your bag is 30 kilos, you're only allowed 23. And then you stand there thinking, oh, what shall I leave behind? Sometimes there are things that you have to leave behind. I've worked at the airport, I know how it works. So people have to leave things behind which are precious to them. And some people think, I don't really need all this. Why am I taking all this extra luggage for? It's just causing me hindrance. I'll leave this behind. So in a similar way, in spiritual life, to please Krishna, sometimes we just have to leave things behind and make progression. Because otherwise, everything gets held back. Now, why do we say that we need to make progression? Why should we leave things behind? Because why the problem that we have, we all have. There comes a point where Krishna is saying, don't keep your center in the center. Don't always think of me, myself, and I. But think of Krishna instead. He says, think of me. It's not very hard to think of Krishna. It's like, I'm sure we all cook at home, yes? So we all have time to go to the shops, buy something. So when you're buying something for Krishna, just think, today I'm going to cook something nice for Krishna. So what do? So we buy the items, we buy the bhoga, we cook it and we offer it to Krishna. And what happens is that becomes sanctified food. That becomes prasadam. And we offer it to the whole family. Yeah? And everybody enjoys that. So everybody partakes in prasadam. That's the first initial step to becoming a devotee, coming into Krishna consciousness. Anywhere you go, any temple you go, the first thing they will offer you is some kind of prasadam. Why? Because it's been offered to the Lord. So that's one thing. When I used to be at work, and I used to have this, at my work, he was a Muslim fella, but every other day I would take a mangal sweet from here, or the coconut sweet, and offer it to him. I said, this is from the temple, it's prasad, it's offered food, it's very nice, I'm sure you'll like it, try it. For then, he took it 2 or 3 times, okay. And then every week he would ask me, Rajesh, where's the prasad? Why didn't you bring the prasad? I'm waiting for you to bring it. So that's the power of prasad, and people will be asking, give me the prasad, give me the prasad. So that's the potencies we have in prasad. And in this verse, Krishna says, seek guidance of a devotee or Krishna himself. Now when you come to the temple, you want to seek guidance from Krishna or devotee. The best way to do it is look at someone who lives by the teaching, who follows the teaching, and that is a spiritual master. They live by example, Srila Prabhupada is so merciful that he's created this Hare Krishna movement, and inside this movement you find everything that you need to know. They engage us, they teach us. Not yet. They engage us, they teach us how to serve and love the Lord. You come here, you learn cooking, you learn cooking, serving, mentally aware of your surroundings. You learn how to talk to people. You learn how to engage in services that you've probably never ever done. There's so many opportunities here for people to do, and this all thanks to Srila Prabhupada and what he's done for us. Why? Because he wants us to involve into being better people. And what happens when you become better people? You become devotees. And when you become devotees, what do? You become lovers of Krishna. You all like to love Krishna. So you work and act in a way that you think that you're an eternal servant of God. We become Krishna consciousness, and that is Krishna consciousness where we're constantly aware of Him 24/7. And we put Krishna at the center of everything we do. So to summarize, because I know I'm going to get a few minutes. Sacrifice in the Bhagavad Gita, as Krishna explains, is essential because it involves us giving something immediate, and that's very important and very loving to us, for something in the long-term process. Okay? In various aspects of life, in our daily life, we must often make sacrifices to achieve something which is substantial, which is more important for us. And sacrifice also has a very spiritual context. It comes from the idea of making something very sacred to us, something that's important that we can give up. And work-wise, that too can be a form of sacrifice. That we're working to please the Lord, and that's a sacrifice in itself when we do it in the right attitude, that I'm doing this, I'm not worried too much about the results I get. I know at the end of the day we get a paycheck, You have your ups and downs even at work, no matter where you are, but you've got to think from a point of view like, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if you think or do something bad for someone, you're going to get a reaction for it sooner or later. So we want to go in that meeting where you don't want to upset someone too much, and you don't want to go on the wrong side of them, because then they'll start criticizing you or saying things that will affect you. But at the same time, they will also get that karma. Don't forget, if they're thinking about you, they will incur that karma as well. So that's why we say that you have to remain focused on what you're doing. Work in the mood of devotion and offer the fruits of work to the divine. Then our work becomes an offering. So when we're working, whatever we're doing, offer it to the Lord. You're working outside, come and help the temple. There's so many opportunities here. If you can't give financially, you can give your time. If you can't give your time, you give your expertise. There's IT experts, there's solicitors, there's doctors, there's nurses, there's so many other people from all different fields who come and give their time to the service of the Lord. Why? Because we're investing in this future, not for ourselves, but for our children. Eventually, they will also need to know what's good, what's right, what's wrong from them. So in this practice of karma yoga, when we perform with love and devotion and without attachment to results, Krishna will take care of our karma, our reactions, and give us that divine yoga to connect with Him. And that connection will eventually elevate us spiritually. But even if you don't have the time to do anything else, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made it so simple. But whatever you do it for Krishna. And He's made it so easy. So everybody lifts their hands in the air. It's called a Maha Mantra. So if everybody repeats after me, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That in itself is a sacrifice where you sacrifice yourself literally 30 seconds to chant the Lord's name. And that is also one of the sacrifices that you can use to please the Lord. Because Krishna is saying, at least they're coming. He's there on the altar today, and He wants to look at how many people are actually here today. And sing from your heart, worship Him with your heart. That's what He's looking for. He's just looking for love. Just like a child